Hello, fellow football fans around the world. I'm Bruno Franco. This is the Football Channel, and today I want to talk to you about a little bit about what happened yesterday. I've already done 2 videos about what transpired in the last day of the transfer window yesterday, but I want to talk to you about specifically the 10 biggest signings that we saw yesterday. So I want to go through the list and start with and talk about the 10 biggest signings, in my opinion, that we saw happen yesterday. Number 10, Jose Callejon, a fantastic winger, a little bit past his prime. He's 33 years old already. That makes me feel pretty old because I'm a little bit older than him, and it seemed like it was just yesterday when he was a young winger playing for Real Madrid. But really, Jose Callejon, a fantastic coup for Fiorentina. Two things: he's a great player and very well versed in Serie A football, but also he was free. So really a fantastic coup all around for Fiorentina. And also, let's not forget that Fiorentina, and I'll talk about this a little bit later in the list, but Fiorentina lost one of their main assets in attack. So they really needed someone who could come in and perform immediately and could provide a similar level of quality in their attack to replace the player that they lost. And it just wasn't going to happen with anybody else because it would be very hard to replace the kind of caliber of player that they lost. So Jose Callejon, I think, fantastic option for Fiorentina. Now, number 9, Moise Kean, another guy heavily involved with the Serie A, Italian football. He came through Juventus youth ranks, and Everton signed him, but he hasn't found in the last couple of years, he hasn't found enough space at Everton to really develop as a player, as the young superstar that we were hoping to see him develop into. And he's being loaned out to PSG, which is kind of a weird. If we think about it, it's a kind of a weird deal because PSG already has the likes of Neymar, Mbappe, Icardi, Draxler, Di Maria, and so on. So it's already a star-studded attack, and I think it's a good deal for PSG. They bring him in, a young player on a loan. He's free for this season, and they have a little bit more depth in that attack. So they can rest Neymar, Mbappe, especially in the French league. If they do as well as in recent years, they'll probably be able to rotate quite a bit throughout the season and focus on resting key players for the quintessential PSG matches, the big ones for them, the Champions League matches. But for Everton, I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense. I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense for Moise Kean because I don't know if he'll find the room, if he'll find the minutes that he's looking for in order to develop as a player. But well, I mean, a pretty good deal for PSG nevertheless, and I hope Moise Kean does find some minutes and he's able to develop a little bit more in that PSG team because he could be a great talent for Italian football and European football in years to come. Now, number 8, Bouna Sarr, French right back, 28 years old, and Bayern gets him from Marseille for only about 10 million euros. So it's a pretty good tactical signing for Bayern Munich, who are fantastic at making all these deals and getting the right players for the right amount of money. And Bouna Sarr, more like a tactical signing, really, for Bayern. They bring in another guy who can give them options in defense, specifically at right back. Good player from Marseille. Immediate, a player that can play immediately and do fairly well. So I think it's a fantastic signing for 10 million euros. Very good signing for Bayern, strengthening their team even more. Now this one is a little bit more exciting. Rafinha from Barcelona to PSG, a fantastic coup for PSG. Really, PSG had a very, very, very good last day in the transfer window. We've already talked about Moise Kean. We're talking about Rafinha. And there's still one other player that I'm going to talk about. But Rafinha, really, it's incredible. PSG, it's a really good deal for PSG. They get him almost for free. They only have to pay about 3 million euros in add-ons plus a percentage of a future sale. But otherwise, scotch-free, Rafinha for PSG, a fantastic player, Brazilian international, 27 years old. Injuries and a lack of continuity at Barcelona haven't allowed him to fully become the player that they expected him to become in Barcelona. But I think this is a great player to add to what PSG already has in their midfield. And they also added another very good midfielder. And this one, even more important, Danilo Pereira from Porto, very, very good tactical signing for PSG. Another one, and this one really, I think he's going to establish himself as a key player in PSG's midfield. He's going to add some much needed muscle and solidity to PSG's midfield. He's been absolutely outstanding with Porto, with the Portuguese national team for really a number of years. He's 29 years old, so he's not a young guy, but he's still um, he still has a good age. So he many football years ahead of him, and PSG gets him on a loan with a 60 million euros buy clause, and the loan is going to cost around 4 million euros. So he's going to cost around 20 million euros. But for a 29-year-old key player like this one, I think this is an incredible coup for PSG. I think they did really a fantastic deal. And the next player in the list, also coming from Porto, this one, Alex Telles to Manchester United. I think another very good signing from this time from Manchester United. Only around 17 million euros, which again, it's a good price. It's almost a little bit strange because Porto is always a club that sells very, very, very well. So I'm a little bit surprised to see Porto letting these two key players go for a fairly cheap amount of money, small amount of money, fairly cheap. So a little bit surprising, but I imagine this has to deal with the high salaries and some loss of income due to the COVID situation. So I imagine this is what forcing Porto's hand. But fantastic signing for Manchester United. And let's get to number four, Douglas Costa. Douglas Costa is a fantastic winger. Bayern gets him from Juventus. Juventus needed to make some space for, and I'm going to talk about him next for the winger that they got from Fiorentina. So they let go of Douglas Costa. He's only going to be at Bayern for 1 year on a loan, though. But this is a great replacement for Perisic, who returned to Inter after a 1 year loan as well from Bayern. So and Douglas Costa is a really world class player. He's a winger. He plays on the right. He can play on the left. Brazilian international, and he already has experience playing for Bayern. He knows Bayern, he knows the Bundesliga, and he's going to make an immediate impact for Bayern Munich and provide even more depth to that Bayern team. And they do use their wingers, they do like their wingers. He's going to be the fourth winger in their squad, complementing their squad. They already have Sane, who they got in, who's I believe a fantastic signing, one of the great signings of the summer. And then obviously they already have Gnabry, they already had Coleman, who are obviously very good wingers. So they're really good with Douglas Costa. They're really good in the winger department. They're really good everywhere. Let's be honest, but a very good, another very good winger for Bayern, even though it's just for 1 year. And then we really get to the big boys here. It's the really huge signings that we saw yesterday. Federico Chiesa, one of the great prospects in Italian football. Juventus gets him from Fiorentina. He had been a target for Juventus for quite some time now. So Juventus fans like myself, we're very excited about the signing the very last day of the transfer window. He's a fantastic talent. Very young, 22 years old, Italian talent. He can play as a winger, as a forward, and he comes in. The deal is it's a loan deal, but there's a buy clause which is going to be for about 40 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons, plus some money for the loan. But it's overall, I mean, he's worth it. It's all around. It's going to be about 50 million euros, but a great coup for Manchester United. This is really one of the great young Italian talents out there, and Juventus can really use some fresh blood. They had some kind of an aging squad with Pjanic, with Cristiano Ronaldo, Higuain, Douglas Costa. So getting rid of some of those players this year and bringing in some fresh blood. Artur de Melo, Federico Chiesa. So really, I think Juventus doing limited business because of the COVID situation, probably, but still some very good business. Juventus usually is a team that um, does pretty well with their transfers. Now, number two, Thomas Partey, and I place him ahead of Chiesa mostly because it was a huge surprise and it was a fantastic coup pretty much out of nowhere for Arsenal. Arsenal getting this, and this is really quite the coup for Arsenal, making a statement here, going to Spain and paying the clause, Partey's clause, which was 50 million euros, so some good money, especially in the COVID era. And getting this key player, who was a key player for Diego Simeone in Atletico's midfield, and I'm sure Simeone will be fuming really with this situation. But they did get Torreira as from Arsenal as a loan, so that kind of mitigates the disaster a little bit. But this is a very good coup for for Arsenal, and Arsenal really needs some to keep adding some quality. Arteta, he's building a good team, but he needs to keep adding a little bit of quality, a little bit of solidity, a little bit of experience to that side, and I think Partey really brings all of that with him. So I think fantastic signing. Last day of the transfer window, pretty much a surprise, I think, for almost everybody. So great signing for Arsenal. And then, are you ready? I'm sure you already know who I'm going to talk about next. The biggest signing, the biggest news of yesterday, of the last day in the transfer window, Edinson Cavani, the Uruguayan killer, fantastic striker. He has everything. He brings in the goals, the work ethic, the killer instinct, the experience, the winning mentality. I think Cavani is really an incredible coup for Manchester United in the last day of the transfer window. I mean, they really couldn't have wished for much better in that number nine position. Of course, they'll be a little bit sad that they couldn't get Sancho, but that deal didn't seem very likely at that point. And for him, I think to be able to bring in not just only Alex Telles, but also especially Edison Cavani, I think they really needed a true coup, a true big name signing for, especially after that defeat against Tottenham, to change the mentality of the team and to give fans a little bit of hope, really. And I think Cavani is really the was really the big story yesterday. Obviously, Thomas Partey was more of a surprise, and Federico Chiesa was a great story for Juventus and for Italian football. But I think when we're talking about the whole of Europe, the whole of the whole of planet football, I think Edison Cavani was really the big name, and we're all really excited about what was going to happen with Cavani. And yesterday we got the confirmation. Manchester United, I think Cavani was very wise to wait until a great opportunity presented itself. And I personally am excited to see Cavani playing in the Premier League after he did so well in the Italian league and in the French league. So I think that's a great signing. And that's it. The 10 biggest signings yesterday in the last day of the transfer window. I will make a video about the biggest signings in the whole summer, in the whole transfer window, and that's going to be an even bigger video. But I really just wanted to give you my thoughts about the biggest signings that we saw happen yesterday. Thank you so much.